There are times in life when we overcomplicate our journey, thinking we must do more, chase more, strive harder, and push endlessly. But what if I told you that your breakthrough isn't in the constant doing? What if the real magic happens when you do what truly matters and then allow yourself to rest? Today, I want you to discover the power of intentional action followed by peaceful surrender. Every day, countless thoughts run through your mind. Tasks to complete, goals to reach, dreams to manifest, problems to solve. You often feel like you must do it all, be it all, achieve it all. Now, this is where the overwhelm begins. You find yourself pulled in 100 directions, scattering your energy into fragments, wondering why progress feels slow, or why you feel drained even when you are working so hard. But here's the truth: you don't need to do everything. You only need to do one thing, the thing that truly matters. The universe is not asking you to run in circles. It is not rewarding chaos or endless business. It responds to clarity, to intention, to focus. When you decide on the one true step that aligns with your heart and your higher vision, you unlock a different kind of power. Calm power, steady power, power that moves mountains quietly. The one true step is not about doing what everyone expects of you. It's about listening inwardly and asking, what is the action right now that truly matters? What step feels aligned, purposeful, and rooted in love, not fear? Sometimes that step is small. Writing a single email, making one important call, sitting down to meditate, or even taking a moment to forgive yourself. Other times, it feels bold, saying yes to a new opportunity, saying no to what drains you, starting the project you've delayed for years. It's never about size. It's about alignment. One step taken with clarity is far more powerful than 20 steps taken in confusion. When you learn to focus on this one true step, you free yourself from the heavy burden of trying to do it all. You stop scattering your precious energy on distractions, unnecessary worries, and activities that look productive but lead nowhere. Instead, you create a straight line between where you are and where you want to be. And here's the beauty of it. The moment you commit to that one step, life begins to reorganize around your intention. Doors you could not see before start to open. The right people appear. Ideas flow with ease. It is as though the whole universe was waiting for you to choose clarity before it could bring you support. But here is where most people get lost. They either delay taking that step, thinking they need a perfect plan, or they take too many steps at once, trying to cover every possible path. Perfection is not the goal here. Action is. You are not being asked to run a marathon in one day. You are being guided to take the single step that will lead to the next, and then the next. Think of it as lighting one candle in a dark room. That small flame may not light the whole world instantly, but it shows you the path ahead. One step creates momentum. One step tells life, I am ready. One step starts the chain reaction. So how do you find this one true step? First, slow down. Take a deep breath and quiet the noise of urgency that often rules your day. Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today that moves me closer to my highest good, what would it be? Your intuition already knows the answer. It whispers in stillness, not in chaos. Trust that whisper. Don't ignore it because it seems too simple or too small. Many great transformations begin with a single, humble action. And once you know that step, act. Not tomorrow, not next week now. Procrastination is the thief of miracles. When you act in alignment, you shift from waiting to creating. You declare to the universe that you are serious, that you are ready to receive what you've been asking for. The one true step is your way of saying, I may not see the whole staircase, but I am willing to take the first step. Remember, focusing on the one true step is not about doing less for the sake of laziness. It's about doing what truly matters and letting go of what doesn't. It's about quality of action, not quantity of motion. You are not here to exhaust yourself. You are here to create with intention, to move with purpose, to walk your path with steady, peaceful power. So today, stop asking, what more can I do? Instead, ask, what is the one thing that will truly matter? Do that. Pour your presence into it. Then let the rest fall away. Because that one aligned step is the beginning of everything you've been waiting for. There is a heavy weight that many people carry without even realizing it. The constant need to get everything right, to have every detail flawless, to avoid mistakes at all costs. This weight is called perfection, and it silently robs you of peace, progress, and joy. You may believe that by being perfect, you will be accepted, admired, or loved more. You may think that if you make no errors, no one will reject you, no one will criticize you. But the truth is, perfection is an illusion that keeps you trapped in endless waiting. You wait to start until the plan feels perfect. You wait to speak until the words are flawless. You wait to live until the moment feels completely right. And in that waiting, life quietly passes by. Releasing the pressure of perfection does not mean settling for less. It means freeing yourself to create, to act, and to grow without fear of falling. When you release that pressure, you step into a world where mistakes become lessons, not punishments. Where trying is celebrated, not delayed. Where progress is valued over flawless execution. Think about it, every great artist, every successful creator, every fulfilled soul you admire, they did not begin with perfection. They began with courage. Their first steps were often clumsy. Their first attempts far from flawless, yet they moved forward anyway. Why? Because they understood something vital: perfection is not the path to success. It is the enemy of it. When you carry the need to be perfect, you start editing yourself before you even begin. You silence your ideas because they are not yet polished. You hold back your gifts because they do not yet feel complete. You postpone your dreams because the timing doesn't seem ideal. But life is never ideal. Life is beautifully unpredictable. The people who flourish are not the ones who wait for the perfect conditions. They are the ones who start where they are, with what they have, and trust that it will be enough to take them to the next step. Releasing the pressure of perfection is an act of self-compassion. It says, I am worthy even if I am a work in progress. I am enough even while I am learning. I do not have to prove my worth by being flawless. When you give yourself permission to be human, you unlock a new level of creativity and flow. Your energy shifts from fear to curiosity, from judgment to growth. You stop being your own harshest critic and become your own greatest supporter. Imagine how much lighter you would feel if you no longer had to carry the expectation of getting it all right. Imagine the things you would try, the words you would speak, the opportunities you would step into if you allowed yourself to be imperfect. Mistakes do not define you, they refine you. Every misstep carries a lesson, every delay carries wisdom, every imperfection carries a seed of growth. The world does not remember those who waited for perfection. It remembers those who dared to move while still imperfect. So begin now. Write the first sentence even if it feels awkward. Launch the idea even if it feels raw. Share your truth even if your voice shakes. You will improve as you go. Progress comes from movement, not from endless polishing. The journey of your dreams does not demand a flawless start. It demands a willing heart. One step taken in imperfection carries more power than 1,000 steps postponed for perfection. You are not here to impress everyone. You are here to express your soul, to share your gifts, to live fully in this fleeting moment. When you release the pressure of perfection, you reclaim your freedom. The freedom to try, to stumble, to rise again, to succeed in your own beautiful, authentic way. Let your life be a masterpiece. Not because it is perfect, but because it is real. The cracks and flaws are what let the light in. The rough edges are what make the story worth telling. And the courage to continue, even without perfection, is what will lead you exactly where you are meant to go. In a world that glorifies constant movement, relentless ambition, and the never-ending chase for more, rest has become almost a forgotten language. We are taught from a young age that success belongs to the ones who never stop, who always hustle, who keep going no matter how tired they feel. But there is a quiet truth that rarely gets spoken. Real growth does not come from constant doing. It comes from balance. Rest is not a weakness. Rest is a sacred act of alignment, a bridge between what you have done and what you are calling in. It is the moment when the seeds you planted are given the space to grow. Think of nature. The trees do not force their leaves to appear overnight. The flowers do not bloom by rushing their process. There is a rhythm, a natural pause, a season of stillness before the season of abundance. Yet, when it comes to our own lives, we often resist this rhythm. We believe that if we stop, even for a moment, everything will fall apart. We fear that rest will make us lose our momentum, our opportunities, or our worth. But the opposite is true. When you honor rest, you create space for clarity. When you pause, you open the doorway for solutions that hard work alone could not provide. Rest is where mind breathes again. It is where your body repairs itself, where your spirit regains its strength. You cannot hear the whispers of guidance in the noise of constant action. You cannot receive the answers you are looking for if you never stop to listen. The power of rest is not in doing nothing. It is in allowing everything you have done to settle, to integrate, and to work for you in unseen ways. Many of the breakthroughs you desire are waiting for you on the other side of rest. That idea you've been chasing. It might come to you not when you are forcing your brain to find it, but when you step away, take a walk, breathe deeply, and let go. That opportunity you are trying to manifest, it might flow to you faster when you are calm, centered, and open, not when you are exhausted and restless. Rest softens your energy. It sends a message to life that you are no longer desperate, you are trusting, and trust is a magnetic force. There is also a deeper layer to rest, one that speaks to your worth. Many people overwork not because they need to, but because they feel that their value comes only from what they produce, what they achieve, or how much they sacrifice. But you are worthy even when you are still. Your existence does not need to be earned. You do not need to prove your importance by running yourself into the ground. Rest is a declaration. I am enough as I am. I do not need to burn out to belong. When you learn to trust the power of rest, you begin to live from a place of harmony rather than struggle. You still take action, but it is focused and meaningful, not frantic and scattered. You still work towards your dreams, but you do so with energy that is replenished, not depleted. You understand that rest is part of the process, not a break from it. Just as a field needs time after the harvest to regain its fertility, you need time after your efforts to regain your strength. So, let yourself pause without guilt. Take a day off without feeling like you are falling behind. Allow yourself to sleep, to breathe, to enjoy a moment of silence. This is not lost time, it is sacred time. It is the soil in which the next chapter of your life will take root. It is the invisible work that supports the visible results. Rest is a choice. And it is also an act of faith. It says, I have done my part. Now, I trust life to do the rest. You do not have to keep pushing to prove your dedication. The universe does not reward exhaustion. It responds to alignment. And alignment often begins in stillness. When you give yourself permission to rest, you create space for the right people, ideas, and opportunities to find you. You stop chasing and start receiving. You stop draining your energy on what is urgent and begin attracting what is truly important. So take a moment right now and breathe. Ask yourself, when was the last time I allowed myself to truly rest? Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally too. Can I give myself that gift today? Can I trust that everything I have already done is enough for this moment? Because when you rest with intention, you are not falling behind. You are aligning with the flow of life itself. And in that flow, everything you seek finds its way to you in its perfect time, with its perfect rhythm. There is a certain kind of struggle that feels heavy, yet many people carry it without questioning it. It is the struggle of trying to control everything, to shape every outcome, to hold on tightly to people, situations, and opportunities even when they are clearly slipping away. This constant forcing may come from fear, from impatience, or from the belief that if you do not make it happen, nothing will. But the truth is, what is truly meant for you will never require desperate force. It will flow toward you naturally when the time, the energy, and your readiness align. Think about the moments in your life when things unfolded beautifully, almost effortlessly. Chances are you were not pushing or obsessing during those times. You were showing up, yes, but you were also open, trusting, and allowing space for things to develop. Forcing is rooted in fear. Flow is rooted in trust. When you try to force something, a relationship, a decision, a result, you create resistance. You hold on so tightly that you leave no room for life to move as it should. The harder you pull, the more friction you create. And the very thing you want seems to slip further away. There is a wisdom in letting go, not as a form of giving up, but as a form of surrender. Surrender does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop controlling. It means you give life permission to surprise you, to guide you, to bring what is truly aligned rather than what you are trying to force into alignment. Sometimes, what you are holding on to so tightly is actually blocking what would have flowed to you with ease if your hands were open. When you stop forcing, you start listening. You notice the subtle nudges, the gentle signs, the quiet inner voice that says, this way, or not yet, or even, there is something better. But when you are forcing, you become deaf to that voice because your mind is too busy planning, pushing, and trying to control every move. You miss the natural rhythm that is always trying to lead you. Flow is not passive. It does not mean sitting back and doing nothing. It means taking the actions that feel aligned, then stepping aside so that life can do its part. Imagine a river. The water moves because the riverbed supports its path. You do not need to drag the water with your hands. You only need to remove the blocks that prevent it from moving freely. Forcing is like trying to push the water against its current, exhausting yourself and getting nowhere. Flow is trusting that the current already knows the way. So ask yourself, where in your life are you forcing what is meant to flow? Is it a relationship you keep trying to fix, even though the other person has already shown you they are not willing to meet you halfway? Is it a goal you keep chasing with anxiety, rather than letting it develop with patience and clarity? Is it an image of who you think you must be, rather than allowing yourself to become who you truly are? Letting go of force does not make you weaker. It makes you wiser. When you release the need to control everything, you create space for what is truly meant to be. Opportunities come not because you chase them relentlessly, but because you created an environment where they could naturally land. The right people stay not because you beg them to, but because the connection was real. The right ideas appear not because you overworked your mind, but because you gave it the quiet it needed to receive inspiration. There is peace in flow. There is ease in trusting that what belongs to you will find you. Not because you sat idly by, but because you showed up, did your part, and then allowed the rest to unfold. You stopped gripping so tightly, and suddenly your hands are free to receive. You stop demanding answers, and clarity arrives in its own time. You stop chasing, and what once felt distant begins to move toward you. This is the shift that changes everything. From control to collaboration, from panic to patience, from fear to faith. Life is not your enemy. It is not trying to withhold good things from you. Sometimes, delays are protection. Sometimes, endings are redirections. Sometimes, the things you think you want are only stepping stones to what you truly desire. And you can only see this when you stop forcing and start flowing. So, pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, am I trying to make something happen that is not yet ready? Am I holding on out of fear of what might happen if I let go? Can I trust that if it is truly meant for me, it will come back, it will stay, or it will flow more easily when I stop gripping so hard? This is not about doing less. It is about doing what is aligned and letting the rest move as it must. What is meant for you has a rhythm, and when you align with that rhythm, life feels lighter. The doors that were once locked begin to open. The paths that felt blocked begin to clear. And the energy you were once using to force everything finally becomes available for creating what truly matters. There is a moment in every journey when you have done everything you could. You have taken the steps, made the effort, planted the seeds, and given your heart. But still, the results are not fully in your hands. This is the moment where many people fall into restlessness, impatience, or even doubt. They keep trying to control every outcome, chasing what is already on its way, or forcing what is not yet ready. Yet the real turning point comes when you allow yourself to step back and let the universe do its work. This is not about giving up. It is about creating space for life to meet you halfway. The universe has its own rhythm, its own timing, and its own intelligence. You cannot always see what is happening behind the scenes. You may think nothing is moving, but often the pieces are quietly rearranging, aligning, and preparing to fall into place, just as the sun rises even when you cannot see the light at night. There are blessings forming for you even when you cannot see the evidence yet. Your part is to act with intention and clarity, then to release your grip and trust that the rest is unfolding. Letting the universe do its work does not mean you sit back and wait without action. It means you take your inspired steps and then stop trying to control the entire story. Control comes from fear. The fear that if you do not manage every detail, everything will fall apart. But life rarely moves according to fear. It moves according to faith, energy, and alignment. The more you push from desperation, the more resistance you create. The more you allow with trust, the smoother the path becomes. Think of a farmer. They prepare the soil, plant the seeds, water them, and protect them. But they do not pull at the roots to make them grow faster. They understand that growth has its own time. In the same way, your dreams, your goals, your healing, they have their seasons. Your work is to nurture them, not to demand their full bloom before the time is right. The universe is always responding, always arranging. Sometimes the delay is a redirection. Sometimes the waiting is protection. And sometimes the pause is exactly what allows the perfect outcome to take form. There is a profound peace that comes when you stop fighting with timing, when you stop asking, why is it not here yet? And start saying, it is coming in its own perfect way. This shift releases the tension in your mind and opens your heart to unexpected blessings. Opportunities often arrive when you stop staring at the door and start living fully in the moment. Answers often appear when you quiet the noise of overthinking and simply trust. Letting the universe work is also a declaration of self-worth. It says, I am worthy of receiving without begging. I am worthy of being supported without exhausting myself. It is an act of surrender, but not of weakness, of wisdom. Surrender means you no longer waste energy forcing things that are already meant for you. It means you open your hands and allow the flow of life to place in them what truly belongs. You may not always get exactly what you asked for, but you will always receive what you need for your highest growth. Looking back, there are times when you did not get what you thought you wanted, only to realize later that something far better was coming. That is the unseen work of the universe, protecting you from what would have harmed you, preparing you for what you were not ready to hold, and aligning you with what truly matches your path. So breathe. Stop chasing every outcome as if your worth depends on it. You are not here to control everything. You are here to co-create. Your role is to take the step. Set the intention, speak the vision, and then step aside enough for life to weave its part of the tapestry. If you keep pulling the threads, you will tangle the design. If you trust, you will see how perfectly it was being crafted all along. Let this be your reminder you are not alone in this process. Forces beyond what you can see are moving on your behalf. Conversations you do not know about are happening. Opportunities you cannot yet imagine are being prepared. Connections, timing, and pathways are quietly aligning, and all they ask of you is to stay open, stay present, and keep your heart in the right place. The universe is not slow. It is precise. It does not forget. It arranges, and when the moment is right, what is meant for you will meet you without you having to fight for it. There are moments in life when you work tirelessly, doing all the right things, following every step, and yet the results do not seem to match your effort. You wonder why things are not moving as fast as they should, why your manifestations feel delayed, why success feels like a distant dream despite all your hard work. The answer often lies not in how much you are doing, but in the energy behind what you are doing. Actions matter, yes, but actions without aligned energy can feel like running in circles. True transformation, true attraction comes not from pushing harder, but from aligning your inner world with what you want to create. Everything in life is energy. Your thoughts, your emotions, your beliefs, your intentions. When your energy is scattered with doubt, fear, or desperation, even the most strategic actions can fall flat. But when your energy is rooted in trust, gratitude, and clarity, even the simplest action can create a ripple that reaches far and wide. Aligning your energy means becoming a match for what you desire before it arrives. It means embodying the feeling of what you want, not waiting for it to happen to feel that way. Many people take action from a place of lack. They move forward because they are afraid of being left behind. They make choices because they fear missing out. They chase because they believe they are incomplete without the outcome. That kind of energy sends a message to life. I am not enough until this happens. And life reflects that back with delays, resistance, or empty victories. But when you act from a place of wholeness, your energy says, I am already worthy, already abundant, already open. From that state, the steps you take feel lighter, more inspired, and they attract support almost effortlessly. Think of a time when something came together easily for you. An opportunity, a relationship, a breakthrough. It likely happened when you were not obsessing over every detail. You were relaxed, open, and somehow confident even without proof. That is alignment. It is when your actions and your energy work together rather than against each other. Alignment does not mean you never feel doubt or fear. It means you do not let those emotions drive your decisions. You notice them, you release them, and you choose to act from a place of trust instead. Aligning your energy starts with awareness. What are you feeling as you move toward your goals? Is it excitement or pressure? Is it curiosity or desperation? The universe responds more to your vibration than to your checklist. If your mind says yes, but your heart says no, the outcome will reflect that split. If your actions say you are ready, but your energy says you are not worthy, the opportunities will hesitate to land. This is why two people can take the same steps and get very different results, because one was aligned and the other was not. So how do you align your energy? Begin by choosing thoughts that support the outcome you want. Instead of saying, "I hope this works," say, "I trust this is unfolding for me." Replace rushing with patience, overthinking with faith, and self-criticism with compassion. Take care of your inner state before you rush into the next task. Meditate, visualize, breathe deeply, whatever helps you connect to a sense of peace and possibility. When your energy feels clear, your actions become more potent. They carry a magnetic quality, a quiet power that does not need to shout to be heard. This is why sometimes doing less leads to more. Because when you pause to align your energy, the next step you take is not just another action. It is a signal. It tells life, "I am ready for this. I believe in this. I am not acting out of fear. I am acting out of knowing." And that kind of signal attracts opportunities that match its frequency. Do not underestimate the power of how you feel when you take action. It is the invisible ingredient that determines whether a seed grows or dries in the soil. You can water it with worry or with faith. You can nurture it with gratitude or with impatience. The seed may be the same, but the energy will determine how it blooms. So, as you move forward, remember that your job is not only to do, but to become. Become the person who already feels worthy of the success they want. Become the person whose energy reflects the peace, love, or abundance they are asking for. Align first, act next. Because when your energy and actions work in harmony, life does not have to be forced. It flows, it unfolds, and it meets you with the very things you once chased.